everybody, I'm Pia from Stitches and Scraps. Today I'd like to show you how to make a chainless starting double crochet. Normally for a double crochet row, you start with a chain 3 and you count that as your first stitch. This chain 3 is supposed to be a double crochet. But it doesn't really look like a double crochet, does it? It's not quite the same, and it leaves a little bit of a gap, and it's just not necessarily the best solution. So let's try and make that turn to start a new row without using any chains at all and without leaving a gap. We're just going to do a double crochet right off the bat. And this is called a chainless because we don't do chains, starting because it's at the beginning of a row, double crochet. So I'm not chaining, I'm just going to turn my work, and then I'm going to draw this loop up as big as the stitch below it. So this is the height of a double crochet. Now the first step in a double crochet is a yarn over, right? So instead of grabbing this yarn, I'm actually going to wrap my hook around this loop to create a yarn over. You have to hold the loop in place. If you let go, it'll come out. So you hold it with this finger and then you twist your hook around like that to create a yarn over. Let me show you that one more time. I'm holding this loop in place and I'm twisting my hook around it to create a yarn over. And I can adjust the size a little bit with this tensioning finger, just as I normally would for a stitch. And remember, I said if you let go, the whole thing comes out, so don't let go. We're going to do the yarn over by holding this loop in place, wrapping our hook around the stitch, around the loop. So that's our yarn over. The next step in a double crochet is to insert your hook into the stitch. So we're going in that very first stitch and we're inserting our hook. Then you yarn over, and we're using the regular yarn for that, and you pull up a loop. So now I have the equivalent of the loop that was already on my hook, a yarn over, and the loop that I pulled up in the stitch. That looks just like a double crochet. So let's finish it just like a double crochet. Yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And now you can see you have something that much more resembles a double crochet. It's going to take a little bit of practice to get the tension right. When you pull up that loop at the beginning of the stitch, if it's too long, your stitch will be puffy and too loose. If it's too short, your stitch will be very tight. So practice with it a little bit to get the tension. But now you can see as I finish this row that initial stitch looks just like the stitches next to it, much more so than this chain 3 did. So let me get to the end of the row and I'll show it to you one more time as we turn for the next row. Now there's another benefit to this stitch too. You'll notice when we come back to the end of the row, we have to work into that chain 3, and sometimes it can be a little awkward trying to find where to work into. And a lot of beginners in particular tend to work into the gap here, which just makes it bigger. So with the chainless starting double crochet, notice that the top of the stitch looks just like the top of a double crochet stitch. It is just like the top of a double crochet stitch. So it's much easier to work back into as well when we do the next row. So here you can see the gap, and here you can see no gap with the chainless starting double crochet. So now let's do the next row, and I'm going to show this to you one more time. Okay, turn your work, draw up a loop as big as the row below it, hold the loop in place, wrap your hook around it to create something like a yarn over. Insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And that is how you make a chainless starting double crochet. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, or leave me a comment. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more great videos. Thanks for watching.